Greetings, welcome back to Black Bear News, where we are discussing climate change, abrupt climate change, and things adjacent. And thank you so much for your comments and discussions. Yes, I know the last video was a bit of a mind blow, or maybe not a mind blow, but you know, I like to stir the pot once in a while. One of the reasons why I started this channel is because I like to mess with the lines of, of groupthink. There's, the right wing, alternative, conspiracy, they're not all the same, by the way, but, conspiracy people believe all conspiracies are true. Generally, liberals believe that all conspiracies are false, and both of those statements are false. Some are true, some are not. So I like to mess with that line. I like to poke holes in people's realities, hopefully, if I can. And so thank you for riding along with me, and thank you for listening. I like to get into it every once in a while, but, I don't want it to be the main focus of this channel. But I just did want to say, though, that, the article that I read cited journal, peer-reviewed journal Science. So they're not making, these are people, scientists, professionals, people with college educations. I'm reading something that agrees with those people. One of those links in that article was to a site called Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. Architects and engineers are college educated, very, very smart people who believe that it was a demolition. So, if you're going to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm agreeing with architects and engineers, a whole bunch of architects and engineers that understand that the official story is not true. So, check out what those people have to say. Don't listen to me. Check out what those people have to say before you tell me that I don't understand physics. That's all. I'm just suggesting. And here's a little news on that. Breakthrough. U.S. attorney agrees to present evidence of WTC demolition to federal grand jury. This is from last year. Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. They have a whole website. I don't agree with actually everything that they say, but, their basic premise of stuff that they're talking about is that the official story is false. That's all. I'll link this if you guys want to look at it. I'm going to get through just a bunch of things quickly today because very little time. I'd like to read a comment from Imogen, who always leaves very intelligent comments in the comment section. Got that Friday feeling, sick to my stomach. It is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday ailment that is getting worse. Anyone else noticing there are a lot of things dying recently? We are the dumbest, most sadistic creatures on the planet. Seems to me we always have been, only now we have the tech and numbers to make it an issue for the rest of the planet while taking a selfie. The well-fed West are so empty, they have to fill their lives with things while trying to improve themselves while the rest of the planet lives on the edge. We should goddamn be ashamed and doing our fucking best to straighten things out. Stand up, walk out, and start shouting. A law should be passed that says each and every person has the right to stop working for a day and protest. Don't buy anything. Don't use any electricity. Don't work. Don't go on the internet. Just sit in the streets or local government offices. If climate change is pulling your place apart or being flooded or so bloody polluted you cannot breathe, so hot you cannot move. Where is the global meeting of hearts, minds, and science that is trying to figure out how to mitigate the effects of global dimming? While we shut industrialized society down, where are the plans to ensure that people who have next to nothing or nothing are not left to starve once industrialization collapses or is pulled apart? Where are the plans to dismantle the vast numbers of nuclear plants? Where are the plans now? Crops are failing to help the farmers or the peoples of that land. When push comes to shove, what do you think will happen when the West gets slammed by food shortages, being as 50% plus of our food comes from overseas? Probably what we have always done, take what is left from those who have got food sources to ensure that we do not starve immediately. And that is right on the money, Imogen. Before that happens, perhaps more likely that fighting will lead to nuclear arms being deployed. We award Nobel Peace Prizes to the men and women who fight and create for justice, understanding, and reason, and we do nothing about the wisdom, extraordinary talent, and the courage devoted by these people beyond that. We do not take action to change this corrupt, contemptuous world. Ever seen any other species being corrupt and act violently in contempt at another? We teach children to share, act kindly and respectfully to one another. Why should they when adults do not behave like this? Excellent point. Because when adults try to say, let's share and let's be nonviolent and let's tell the truth, they go, oh, why don't you grow up? This is the real world. No, it's not the real world. The real world, the lying, deceitful, psychopathic assholes who run the world, that isn't the real world. They just made it up. They made that shit up. The religious zealots who tell you that they, need to kill you, or starve you, or make sure that you have a baby so that they can starve that baby or put that baby in jail. Those people don't live in the real world. That's not the real world. The real world is what we teach to children, right? That's actually the truth. Share, be kind. Thank you for saying this, Imogen. This is an oversimplification, but what is wrong with simple? What is wrong with us that we think it is okay to live in luxury while millions starve and struggle to stay alive? What is wrong? Excellent comment from Imogen. Thank you. So I'm just going to go through some headlines. Koalas now functionally extinct, says Australian Koala Foundation. Koalas are hanging on for their very survival with news that the marsupials don't have enough breeding adults to support another generation. They are in danger of going the way of the dodo. Koala bears have been declared functionally extinct. If you've seen any recent Guy McPherson videos, he's been talking about animals going functionally extinct, meaning there are not enough adults, or there's just not enough pairs of these animals left to continue the species. So there's still some left, but basically they're gone. This is their last generation. They've been ravaged by the effects of rising temperatures and heat waves, which have caused widespread deforestation and fatal dehydration in koalas. Wow. Only 41 of the koalas' 128 known habitats in federal environments have any of the animals left. Extremely, extremely sad. I'm going to link that below. Here's a headline. Total catastrophe for U.S. corn production. Only 30% of U.S. cornfields have been planted. 5-year average is 66%. 2019 is turning out to be a nightmare that never ends for agriculture industry thanks to endless rain and unprecedented flooding. Fields all over the middle part of the country are absolutely soaked right now. This has prevented many farmers from getting their crops on the ground. I knew that this was a problem, but when I heard that only 30% of U.S. cornfields had been planted as of Sunday, I had a really hard time believing it. But it turns out that that number is 100% accurate. It is the middle of May, by the way. If you're not, anybody's unclear on the date, it is the middle of May. At this point, corn farmers are up against a wall because crop insurance final planting dates have either already passed are coming up very quickly. In addition, for every day after May 15th that corn is not in the ground, farmers lose approximately 2% of their yield every day after May 15th. Unfortunately, more rain is on the way. Okay. Moving on to this. This is from last month, but I never really got a chance to cover this. We are not moving fast enough. Study shows cost of melting permafrost could total $70 trillion. The most important thing to remember about our study is that the greater the warming, the stronger the feedbacks and the higher the costs to society. An alarming study released Tuesday found that melting Arctic permafrost could add nearly $70 trillion to the global cost of climate change unless immediate action is taken to slash carbon emissions, according to the new research published in the journal Nature Communications. Melting permafrost caused by accelerating Arctic warming would add close to 70 trillion to the overall economic impact of climate change if the planet warms by 3C. By, what's the date? 2100? Okay. What if we get to 3C by 2025? Then what, guys? Then what happens? Where does this study leave us? If 3C by 2030? Uh-oh. That's not good. I've read a few articles on this recently. Dozens of gray whales washing up dead along migration route, and BC is their next stop, British Columbia. The whales appear emaciated, but whether from decline of food supply or overpopulation is unclear. Is it unclear? An unusually high number of gray whales are washing up dead on the west coast shorelines on their annual migration north, and BC is the next stop, warns a U.S.-based marine biologist. More than 20 gray whales were stranded ashore in California this spring, and further north along the coast in Oregon, several more have washed up recently. 11 whales have recently stranded in Washington state. Only one survived. Food shortage from necropsies on the animals. Huggins said it appears that food shortage is an underlying cause of the deaths. We've been seeing a lot of emaciated animals. Well, if there's not enough fish, then clearly there's an overpopulation of whales. Whether it's from overpopulation or lack of food. Well, if there's no food, then there's definitely an overpopulation because there's not enough. There's too many whales and not enough fish. Yeah. This is not good. And that is all I have for you today. I just wanted to, give you some more climate change, some grim realities. I'm going to link all of these articles below. Thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. If you would like to support this channel, you can do so at the links below. Until next time. Can I get up here? Peace.